Have you ever had a dream that felt so real, it was like a memory? What if those weren't just dreams, but echoes of a life you lived before? This is the story of James Leininger, a little boy from Louisiana, whose life took an extraordinary turn, challenging everything we think we know about memory, life, and death. It all started when James was just 2 years old. He began having terrible, recurring nightmares. He'd wake up screaming, thrashing in his bed, shouting things like, "Airplane crash! Plane on fire! Little man can't get out!" His parents, Bruce and Andrea, were terrified. They tried to soothe him, telling him it was just a bad dream, but the nightmares continued, night after night. Soon, James's daytime behavior became just as puzzling. He was obsessed with airplanes, but not just any airplanes. He knew an astonishing amount about World War II fighter planes. He would draw detailed pictures of aerial battles, with planes being shot down in flames. He would crash his toy planes into the coffee table over and over, reenacting the fiery end he saw in his dreams. His parents were baffled. Where was a toddler learning these specific, violent details? One day, while playing with his toy planes, James told his mother, Andrea, that his airplane was a Corsair. He then pointed to the bottom of the toy and said it had a drop tank, a type of external fuel tank used on WOT fighters. Bruce and Andrea were stunned. They had never taught him that term. Their confusion turned to shock when James started sharing more details. He said he flew off a boat, and when his father asked for the boat's name, James replied without hesitation, "Natoma." Bruce, a skeptic by nature, decided to investigate. A quick search online revealed a startling fact. The USS Natoma Bay was a real escort carrier that had served in the Pacific during World War II. This was the first piece of concrete evidence that what James was saying might be more than just a child's fantasy. The boy who had never left Louisiana seemed to know specific details about a war that ended decades before he was born. As James got older, his memories became even more vivid and specific. He told his parents that his name in his past life was also James. He said he had a friend on the ship named Jack Larson. He described his mission on the day he died, saying he was shot down by the Japanese. He even knew the exact location, Iwo Jima. The level of detail was staggering for a child his age. He wasn't just saying, "a plane crashed." He was providing names, locations, and technical specifics that would be difficult for even a history buff to recall from memory. Bruce's investigation deepened. He felt like a detective in his own home, piecing together a puzzle from another lifetime. He started attending reunions for veterans who had served on the USS Natoma Bay. He scoured military records, yearbooks, and historical documents. He was determined to find the truth, whether it proved his son was remembering a past life or simply had an overactive imagination. The breakthrough came when Bruce found a list of pilots from the Natoma Bay's squadron. On that list, there was one pilot, and only one, who had been killed in action during the Iwo Jima operation. His name was James M. Houston, Jr. The pieces were falling into place with chilling accuracy. Bruce then contacted surviving members of the squadron. He found a pilot who confirmed that he knew James Houston, and that Houston's plane was indeed shot down exactly as James Leininger had described. But what about the friend, Jack Larson? Bruce managed to track him down. Jack Larson was alive and well. When Bruce told him his son's story, Larson confirmed that he was friends with James Houston and that they had served together on the Natoma Bay. Every detail James had provided, from the name of the ship to the name of his friend and the circumstances of his death, was being verified one by one. Perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence came from James Houston's own family. Bruce managed to contact his surviving sister, Anne. She shared stories and photographs of her brother. When 4-year-old James Leininger was shown a group photo of the squadron pilots, he was asked if he could find himself. Without hesitating, he pointed directly at the image of James Houston. Andrea, his mother, had remained more open-minded than Bruce throughout the process. For her, the emotional connection was undeniable. She recalled a time when James was a toddler, looking through a book about Iwo Jima. He pointed to a picture of Mount Suribachi and said with a sad certainty, "That's where my plane was shot down." The pain in his voice, the certainty in his eyes. It was more than just a story. It was a memory, raw, and real. Over time, as James got older, the nightmares faded, and the vivid memories began to recede, much like a dream you can't quite hold on to when you wake up. He grew into a normal, happy teenager, his past life becoming a distant part of his childhood story. But the evidence his parents collected remains, a meticulously documented account of a little boy who knew things he shouldn't have known. The story of James Leininger has been examined by researchers, skeptics, and believers alike. Some try to explain it through concepts like cryptomnesia, where a person absorbs information subconsciously and later mistakes it for their own memory. Could James have overheard documentaries or conversations about World War II? His parents are adamant that he was never exposed to such detailed information. Others suggest it's a case of parental suggestion, where the parents, either consciously or unconsciously, guided his memories. But Bruce started as a complete skeptic, and his goal was to disprove, not prove, his son's claims. Ultimately, the case of James Leininger leaves us with more questions than answers. It forces us to confront the possibility that our consciousness might be more than just a product of our brain, that memories could somehow transcend a single lifetime. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it's a story that sticks with you, a profound mystery about a little boy and the pilot who lived within him. What do you think? Could a child truly remember a past life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into the unexplained.